You've got ghosted. Now, seriously, if your chats usually look like this and you want them to ultimately look like this, I'm going to show you by the end of this video exactly what you're doing wrong and how to fix it. Typically, there are 3 reasons as to why guys get ghosted. At the end of the video, I will leave a link to an old video of mine from about 10, 11 years ago that would deal with those 2 issues as to why guys generally get ghosted. One of the main culprits as to why guys constantly get ghosted is that they ask too many questions in rapid succession without compliance. Now, investment and compliance from the girl is key. But before we get to that, I will show you exactly what you're doing wrong. Now guys, when you dive into a girl's DM, please never do this. Hey, what's up, beautiful? I'm Kenny. How are you? Hey, good night, beautiful. How is your day going? Now, best case scenario, you'll get a pity text back because most girls don't want to crush your feelings. So they would give a pity text back to you saying, hey, beautiful, good night. How are you? You'll get a pity text back and then ghosted. However, the vast majority of girls are just going to leave you on read and seen. And the reason for this is that you don't have compliance and you haven't gotten the girl to invest. So, what should you do in order to get the girl to invest? As you hop into her DMs, make a unique observation, but never ask a question as your initial message. Make a unique observation, make a statement, voice an opinion, and then you go from there. But you never want to make your initial DM be in the form of a question. All right, here's a great example. Whichever platform, dating app, or social media site you're on, doesn't matter. This is what you should do. You want to skim the girl's profile, see if there's something that sticks out. Even if there's something that doesn't stick out, you want to pick out something within her most recent photo or her most recent post. For instance, if you see that she has a pair of shades on, if you see that she has a necklace on, a certain pendant, her slippers, her pair of earrings, pick something minute out. Pick something obscure out. Now, this is how I would do it, and this is how I recommend for you to do it. Let's say I spot a pair of shades that she has on. I would hop into her DM with, hey, what's up, Gina? Those shades you had on from the last picture you took, those are badass. You know what? I think I want to lease them from you. But if you charge me anything more than $10, we're going to have problems. Smiley face. Or I would say something like, hey, Gina, the last photo you posted with shades on, yo, those were wicked. Those were badass. You know what? I'm going to have to come all the way to Manhattan and jack you for those shades. Smiley face. Now, this is what will not happen upon the girl receiving such a text like that. The girl will never respond with, hell out of here. What are you talking about? Get out of here, creep. The girl will not respond with a message like that because that would be socially inept. That would be uncalled for. All right? So she's going to follow social protocols by responding with a message that is more socially appropriate. Trust me, you will not get a nasty response. Guarantee. Now, why such an opener or icebreaker is so powerful is that, for one, it's unique. No other guy's using it. No other guy's saying it. Secondly, it sets you apart from the crowd of beta males and simps who are scooping her poop, who are complimenting her on her looks and her body. The fact that you neglected to compliment her on her body, or her looks, it sets you apart from the crowd. So now you're the one unique guy out of 1,000 who's in her inbox. Haven't jumped into her DMs commenting on her shades. Hey, I'm going to come to Manhattan and I'm going to jack you for those shades. Smiley face. Or, hey, I want to lease those shades for $10 an hour. You can't go wrong. Haven't jumped into her DMs saying that, it will likely elicit a reply from her, which could possibly be an LOL, dying with laughter, LMAO, laughing my ass off, anything along those lines. Or she might even say, that was funny, or ha 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 ha. You will likely get one of those responses. And this is what I'm going to show you what you should do after that. Also, if the girl only responds with an LOL or any one-worder, ha ha ha, LOL, funny, if she only responds with something like that, that is a minute, small form of investment. And the thing is, guys, women are very socially savvy. They have to be. From like kindergarten, middle school, junior high, they had to adapt and learn how to basically rig the game. Men are just trying to adapt. So women know that they do not want to give up the leverage from the start. So this is why they do not want to seem too invested and so invested by replying with something that is too lengthy. So that is why women typically will reply with an LOL, anything that's a one-worder, because they don't want to invest too much at the start. They don't want to show their hands too much at the start, because the thing is, women do not want to kill the intrigue. They want to keep the cat and mouse chase going. And in their heads, they feel that if they invest too much at that point, in her first message, it will kill the intrigue. It will unalive the ambiguity, the cat and mouse game, the chase, the thrill. So they don't want to do that. So that is one of the reasons why they will give a small level of investment with the one-worder, LOL, dying with laughter, laughing my ass off, ha 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 ha. So what would my response be to a girl giving me a low-level form of investment, such as an LOL, dying with laughter, anything one-worder? What would be my response to that? I would give her an indirect compliment. Keyword stressed, indirect. I would give her an indirect compliment by saying something along the lines of, wow, at least you know how to laugh, because most sexy girls don't have humor nowadays. Or you can say, hey, it's good to know that you have humor, because studies show that sexy girls only smile 5% of the time out of their whole lifetime. So at least you know how to laugh. Why was this so powerful? Well, for one, you complimented her on an attribute or a personality trait, something that has nothing to do with her looks. That's one of the reasons why this is so powerful. So that sets you apart from 99% of the simps and betas who are commenting on her looks. The fact that you complimented her indirectly on having a sense of humor, it sets you apart from the crowd. All right. So secondly, you did not directly call her sexy. You said sexy girls generally don't have sense of humor. Or you said sexy girls, studies show that sexy girls only smile 5% of the times out of their lifetime. So you didn't directly call her sexy. You indirectly hinted at it. Now, that's going to get her up in her head, asking herself, is this guy attracted to me? Does he find me sexy? Why isn't he doing what every other guy's doing? So that is the second key why this is so important, guys. Hence, she would have to get inside of her head and do some investment / thinking. All right. So you are getting her to invest by getting her thought process going, wondering whether you are sexually attracted to her, because you did not directly state that like every other guy's doing. Very powerful, guys. This is actually NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Powerful. Check it out. With that, you are bound to get a second reply, which could be anything along the lines of the girl saying, you know what, that's true. Life is too short to not enjoy it and have a laughter. You're bound to get a response similar to that. This means further investment on the girl's part. She is now contributing to the conversation. You got her investing now, okay? Again, that is the likely response you would get. Girl would say, yeah, you know what? Life is too short. Everyone should be able to enjoy themselves and have a laughter, okay? So, bam, you weren't left on scene. You weren't left on red. Now, this is where you can follow up by asking your first question, since you now have compliance and investment, opposed to earlier having to ask her a question as an icebreaker with having no investment from the girl or no compliance. Now that you have investment and compliance, you can go on to ask your first question. Now, so you can respond with, cool, life is laughter. Cool, laughter is medicine. Oh, by the way, you seem like an uptown chick. Are you from Manhattan or the Bronx? You can ask her that. I would ask her that. It doesn't really matter what question you ask her. The point is, you can go on to ask her a question. So like I said, for example, after I got the initial investment, I can now ask a question. You seem like an uptown chick. Manhattan or the Bronx? And remember, no question mark, guys. No question mark. Now, there is a 99.9.9.9% likelihood that you would have gotten a reply from that question that I just asked. 99% chance and likelihood, guaranteed. Where you would have gone wrong before you had watched this video is that you would have dove into her DM asking and leading with that question, with that intrusive question of, hey, you from the Bronx or Manhattan? That's very intrusive as an icebreaker, as an opener. You come in leading with such a question, hey, you from the Bronx or Manhattan? Ghosted. Left on scene, left on red. So guys, it's all about timing. You have to line the girl up firstly with a leading observational statement before asking her a question. That is why you get left on scene / red and ultimately ghosted. Another reason why you ultimately get ghosted is because you ask a string of questions, even if a girl was engaging and texting back and forth. You ask a string of questions and that will ultimately get you ghosted. Women will often ghost you when you ask too many questions too closely. When you ask too many questions in rapid succession, women will often ghost you because of that. What's your name? Jenny. Where you from? Mount Vernon. How old are you? Ghosted. Instead, you want to do this after following the format that I had previously laid out. What's your name? Jenny. Jenny? Wow, something about you Jennies. One of my exes was a Jenny. Interesting. So, where you from? Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon? Not too far. I'm on White Plains Road. Wow, that's interesting. Mount Vernon. You're actually the first girl I ever met from Mount Vernon. Interesting. You get the point, right, guys? That's how you never get left on red or seen or ultimately ghosted. That is what you want to do. Statement, statement, question. Statement, 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 question. Statement, question. Statement, statement, question. That is how you want to do it. Not question, 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 because that's going to get you ghosted. Statement, statement, question. Statement, question. Statement, 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 question. So, to quickly recap, before jumping in that stranger's DMs, you want to skim her profile. Look at her most recently posted photo or status update. Pick something out from the photo or the status update. Jump into her DM, make an observational statement or a comment or an opinion on that. For instance, let's say shades. She has on some nice shades. You comment on the shades. Cool ass shades. You seem like a chick who has a lot of style. That's impressive. I like that. Comment on the shades. Do not comment on her body or her physical affectations, her looks. Do not comment on that yet as an opener / icebreaker. And never ask a question as your opener / icebreaker. Even if she replies with a thank you, you then continue by saying something along the lines of, yeah, you seem like you have some nice fashion sense. That's very rare. I don't meet many girls who know how to mix and match like that. You're bound to get more investment. So you feed off of the girl's responses. You feed off of them. For instance, yeah, I just like to try new things and mix and match my wardrobe and try to do it to the best of my abilities. Now, this is where you can acknowledge it, then move to a question. So you can say, right, cool. I like that perspective. By the way, you have an uptown girl vibe. You from the Bronx or Manhattan? You're guaranteed to get a response to that. Guaranteed. Because now you have investment and compliance because of the lead-in statement which you had set her up for because she had already responded to those. That's how you ask a question. If you follow this format of mine, you will never get ghosted again. You will never get left on scene or read again. Once you follow the format, statement, statement, question. All right. And the sequence generally will not go that way, meaning you're going to make an observational statement. The girl will reply. Then you're going to say something. She's going to say something. So it's going to bandy back and forth. That's how you pretty much carry a conversation. Most guys go wrong because, their conversations come off as pretty boring, right? No intrigue, no depth, nothing. And again, they are complimenting the girl on her physical affectations, her looks, rather than the intangibles. The fact that she has humor, she has style. Those are the things you want to compliment a girl on initially. And also, by saying to the girl, sexy girls generally don't have humor. Or studies show that sexy girls only smile 10 or 5% of the time in their whole lifetime. By saying that, indirectly calling her sexy, it also makes the girl know, it subcommunicates to the girl that you see her as a sexual item. Indirectly so, because you don't want to give away the game too early. Just as the girl doesn't want to do the same, she doesn't want to overinvest, overcommit, you also do not want to overcommit and overinvest at that point. Therefore, your compliments, if you give one, should be indirect. It should be a generalized compliment. Hey, they say sexy people, so and so forth. Not, hey, you're sexy, so and so. No, make it a general compliment if you're going to tell a girl she's sexy. If you want to know my format of how to compliment a girl once you hop into her DMs, I usually use the format that I came up with. This is over 14 or so years ago. I have a format that I labeled PSA when it comes to complimenting girls. The P stands for personality, the S for style, the A for attitude. So whenever you want to compliment a girl in those early stages, you want to compliment her on one of those things. Personality, style, attitude. The PSAs, okay? I'm going to do a video about this, so definitely stay tuned. You got to get your text game in order, guys. Check out this is an old podcast that I did many, many moons ago. The do's and don'ts of text game. The do's and don'ts of texting girls. An old podcast, but it's gold.